Hallo und willkommen zu einer brandneuen Folge der Flowgrade Show. Ich bin Max Gotzler, dein Gastgeber, und heute habe ich wieder mal einen besonderen Gast in der Show, bereits zum dritten Mal, und zwar den unglaublich inspirierenden, weltverändernden und mittlerweile wirklich in der ganzen Welt bekannten Iceman Wim Hof. Und wir sprechen über aktuelle Themen, und genau aus dem Grund lade ich die Episode auch gleich online hoch, weil es geht um den Coronavirus, um die aktuelle Lage, den Umgang mit Angst und auch, wie du mit der Atemtechnik dein Immunsystem stärken kannst. Dazu sprechen wir auch noch über den Zusammenhang zwischen Kälte und Tantra und Sexualität. Also auch wieder sehr spannend, hochaktuell. Also du siehst, es erwartet dich so einiges. Kurzer Hinweis, diese Episode ist in englischer Sprache, denn obwohl Wim sehr gut Deutsch spricht, ist er im Englischen doch noch gewappneter und kann besser über die Themen reden. Allerdings die Shownotes sind auf Deutsch, und wenn du diese finden willst, dann findest du sie auf flowgrade.de/Wim Hof. Dort findest du auch die Links zu den vergangenen 2 Episoden mit Wim. Und wenn du den Mann persönlich kennenlernen willst, was ich dir nur ans Herz legen kann, dann gibt es die nächste Chance am 12. April in Berlin. Und zwar kannst du als Flowgrade-Hörer auch noch ein Ticket dazu gewinnen. Wir verlosen 5 Tickets, und alles, was du machen musst, um teilzunehmen, ist einen Screenshot von diesem Video, von der Episode, und ihn teilen auf Instagram oder auf Facebook mit @Flowgrade und @Iceman Hof. Und wenn du kein Instagram oder Facebook hast, wofür ich dich eigentlich beglückwünschen müsste, dann schick mir einfach eine E-Mail an max.gotzler@flowgrade.de und dann kannst du auch noch teilnehmen. Jetzt ohne viele weitere Worte, viel Spaß mit dem Iceman zum dritten Mal über Corona, Angst, Tantra und vieles mehr. Go for Flow.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup. It becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Be water, my friend.
Wim Hof, welcome for the third time to the Flowgrade Show. My friend, I'm very happy to have you here this morning. How are you?
Good, thank you, Max. We always go to the max.
That's it. That's it. And, you know, I've collected several questions from your German community because you're coming to Berlin actually on April 12th.
Yes, yeah, 1 to 12. 12, that means in April. That's 8 days before my birthday. I'll be in Berlin. I like Berlin very much.
I know you do, and I know you like Munich because I'm in Munich right now, but I know you like the cold river.
Oh yeah, the Eisbach. The Eisbach is fabelhaft. Fabelhaft.
And,
yeah, great. Just to go swimming there and let yourself go and being picked up by the tram is amazing. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And by the way, before we dive in, because actually you, sir, have been one of my great inspirations on my path. And I've participated, I've had transformative experiences at your events several times already. And actually, we've seen each other in Poland in the beginning of the year. I wasn't part of your group, but I was there with Josephine. And I've seen you do the backflip from the
yeah, from the rock in the water. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I like some backflips and front flips, and you know, it's some fun.
That's actually
that's actually from the winter to summer.
Winter and
Make
summer.
of your winter. Mach von deinem Winter, mach eine Sommer draus.
Sehr gut. Why not? Why not? I mean, we could all use a little bit of
That's
summer.
Power. That's power. If you are able to make of the winter a summer, like the same behavior, going in t-shirts, be relaxed outside, swim outside, then you are powerful.
That's actually, that was a question I have written down here. But before we get to that one, Wim, we've talked about it before briefly, but there were a lot of questions regarding the current situation with Corona and how to breathe in order to boost your immune system. And I wanted to know if you had any opinion on that.
Oh, I do. If you want to know my opinion on the coronavirus creates inflammation. And inflammation specifically into the lungs. Now, the breathing brings about the activation of the adrenal axis. When that happens, a reset of the immune system is at hand. More white blood cells, more red cells, more whatever is needed is being activated. And it goes directly towards the cause of the inflammation, the cause of the disease. In this case, lung inflammation in the lungs. And it goes directly there, and it effectively will show to be able to suppress the inflammatory markers. I really challenge the whole world on this. And this is simply based on inflammation. Look it up. Coronavirus is inflammation. So, are we able to get the inflammation down? We have shown this in the university. So, why is it not taken up? Why aren't they coming to us? Why aren't the professors and the doctors who know about this taking this up? These are natural methods. They don't cost anything. And that's the real disease, because they want to make people in fear, dependent, and pay a lot of money. Like President Trump is going to pay, by the government, of course, 8.3 billion. And where does it go? It goes to the pharmaceuticals. It's not about healing people. It's about money. So natural methods have been shown to be able to effectively suppress the inflammatory markers, which is inflammation, which is caused by the coronavirus. We are able to bring it down by natural methods, to contain it, to control it. I challenge any scientist to prove me wrong. Yes? Here I am. I lose my credibility, and I say this: inflammation caused by coronavirus can effectively being suppressed by these breathing techniques.
Let me ask you one question. Like, what aspect do you think in that, with the breathing together, does the mind play? Because I know that you've recently done the Michigan study where you proved that just by using your mind, you could switch your body temperature. And I just wanted to focus on the power of the mind. Can you talk a little bit about that in that aspect?
Very, very simple. The same professor, one of the professors there, just stated in a new book of Scott Carney, who wrote What Doesn't Kill You, wie heißt das auf Deutsch, was dich nicht tötet, so etwas, die Titel und so.
Genau.
Ja. Was dich nicht umbringt, also Coronavirus, was dich nicht umbringt, das sollen wir unbedingt aufsuchen. What I mean is, he said, Wim Hof has discovered the secret of placebo. You know placebo? Normally, it's the power of the mind saying something, but we don't know where it is, you know? Now, we have shown how it works. And we have shown at will how it works, consciously. So, how about this related to disease? Now, very simple. If you have people who have their own companies and they have deadlines, then they work harder and they suppress through the adrenaline caused by the deadline to get the inflammatory markers, the inflammation. And once it is done, the work, they become sick. They let go. It's the mind. Now, if I relate that to the coronavirus, if you do the breathing and you use the power of the mind, you will be able effectively to go within the dis-ease and bring ease, to heal it. To heal it, prevent from it, that's one, because a virus only comes in when the immune system is not effectively aware, present, when it is not too present, and this is our comfort zone behavior in all the Western world has made our immune system lazy. Okay. And a sedentary lifestyle, always in clothes, and then it becomes lazy. Because the immune system is about 1,600 types of cells.
And it needs to be shocked, right? That's what you mean, that you need to shock it.
It needs to be shocked, and it's in the blood. And how is the blood flow being trained? By going into the cold. Very simple. And if you do the breathing exercises, you bring in the adrenaline. And that resets the body to its natural capacity. And the natural capacity of our bodies is that the immune system detects viruses and bacteria when they come directly. Okay. Not because it is lazy, it comes in and the immune system is not working, not reacting. So that is the current situation of the physiology of the world population. That is logical because we wear clothes all the time. Now, if you take your cold showers, then your deeper physiology is going to work just fine, and virus and bacteria is much harder to be able to get into our system because the immune system is a lot sharper.
So before you go into the cold, you do the breathing though, right? And do you do the retention for immune function, or do you, because I know you have two techniques where at the one you hold it in the head and the other one you breathe it out and you retain it. Is there one preferable method for you?
If you have inflammation, if you're dealing with inflammation, then you better do the inhale, squeeze it to your head after 30 breaths, and squeeze it hard. That brings in blood flow plus alkaline blood into the head. And then the head is going to work better in cooperation with the hormonal system. The hormonal system is hypothalamus, brainstem, periaqueductal gray hemisphere. If they receive better blood, they work better. It's logical. So that's why we do the power breathing. And they saw in the university that it really works wonders. People get injection with the bacteria.
You've gotten that, right? You've gotten bacteria injected, and you...
Not me only, also a group of people. Mm-hmm. And we did the study again, bigger, and the same results. It shows that we are able, through these breathing techniques, to spike up the immune system. And then suddenly the immune system almost directly knows what to do with the intruder, with the bacteria, with the virus. Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. And these people, of course, their mind is present. It's very much into the breathing. It's not somewhere else. And the mind is power. The mind is electricity. It's like neurotransmitters.
There's actually, I recently read the book by Bruce Lipton, Intelligent Cells, where he describes that when you, for example, put an intention, then you have an electromagnetic impulse being sent throughout your whole body.
And I showed this, how it works, in a brain scan. So why are people still, they say, these professors, this is a transformational technique that will change mental health care. You see? Why are they not taking it up? You know? Bruce Lipton is saying the same thing. And the other guy, what was his name? Who also goes into the cells. Doesn't matter.
Wim, can you take me through, because some people might not know what you've actually done in the Michigan study. Can you describe what they've actually done with you there?
Yes, they had me with a suit, like a neoprene suit, together with tubes in the suit to cool a person down. You know, it's connected with tubes to a pump. And the pump is in a container. And the container is called ice water. Mm-hmm. And they pump the ice water through the tubes, on the skin, in the vest, all over. And they measure skin temperature. But they do it only here, but the skin temperature everywhere is being exposed by ice cold water. Then I cannot move. I cannot move in the brain scan because you get very blurred images. Mm-hmm. So I cannot move. I can hardly breathe. Like just slow breathing. That's all I can do. The only thing I can do is use the intention of my mind, the power of the intention. So I set my mind, I want to make a difference. I do not even say what it is going to be. It's not about talking. I just say to myself, find an answer. You know how to find an answer. I don't need to say what it all is because you know it. You are in connection with my images, with my thoughts, with my experiences, with the way the professors talked to me. You know it all already. So I don't need to instruct the mind like NLP or something. No. It doesn't work that way. Do whatever needs to be done. That's the way. I went into the brain scan, lying there, you can't move. And then the cold water was being pumped in through the tubes, into the vest, all over the skin, and then cooling it down. Normally, with 74 others, they saw that the skin temperature after exposing it to ice water pumped in the vest, in the brain scan, the skin temperature went down. And when they poured warm water again, then the skin temperature went up again. That relates in the brain as activation of the prefrontal cortex. That is the place of your awareness. And that awareness was highly activated because stress is going on. You experience stress in the brain. So there is activation of the prefrontal cortex. And the insula is activated when you are in deep meditation or when you feel very nice, very cool, was very much going down. Yes? because there was stress. The stress of the cold water pumped in to the vest. So that's what they saw. The prefrontal cortex very highly activated, insula completely down. And then they got me, that was 74 test persons. Yeah, all showed the same thing. Very much the same.
Wow.
Then I came, I did nothing, and I showed the same. And then the other day, that they told me, can you do what the Iceman is doing? I really did not know what to do. But then I was, that morning, meditating in myself, like just going into myself. And then I saw images of how I was in nature, on the Mount Everest, under the ice, in the cold, running marathons, always this mindset that when I set my mind, I feel I can do a thing, a challenge, then I become at ease because I know the connection is there. And every time, every challenge, it worked the same way. And I always succeeded.
Wow.
And I found that moment, at the realization, I realized that is when I became fully confident that I was going to be successful in the university. So 3 hours later or 4 hours later, I was in the university, in the brain scan, and then the day before, I showed the same results as everybody else, but now I was different. I had gone into myself, into the depth, and that made me able to connect and now find an answer. And the thing is that people lost the connection with their depth. And I know now how to bring it. But at that moment, I had to produce the results. So I went to the university, I got into the brain scans, and they saw after exposing like 5 or 7 times, cold, warm, that my skin temperature stayed the same.
Wow.
And then that was, they had never seen that before. And then they looked inside of the brain, and then it showed that I was robustly activating, so big time activating, the periaqueductal gray hemisphere, which is part of the brainstem. And this part of the brain produces cannabinoids and opioids. Not only, it also is related to the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is the thermoregulator in the body. And that thermoregulator, the hypothalamus, that's the axis, part of the axis, adrenal axis. Hypothalamus, pituitary gland, the third eye, they call it, the pituitary gland, and the adrenal glands near the kidneys. That is the adrenal axis. So the aqueductal gray hemisphere, so the opioids and the cannabinoids, they were robustly activated. I felt great that my prefrontal cortex was not at all activated. In all the other cases, it was very much activated because they experienced stress. I did not experience stress. And this was completely different. And then they saw these different parts of the brain highly active. And the adrenaline, that it took care to reset my body and find the right answer to the stress. And you stress comes in many ways. Stress can come emotionally, mentally, bacterial, virus, biological stress, weather stress, cold, heat. It's all, in the end, it is cell biological stress. In the end, it's all the same. Cell biological stress. And now, if you reset, yes?
I just want to recapitulate that you said that for you, it's not a conscious decision. It's sort of, you go into the moment. That's how I understand it from you. And then you let the body do the work. Is that kind of what you described? Right?
It is learning to let go of your thinking brain and just go with confidence. Confidence is, it's not just an abstract word. Confidence is a feeling where you are able to shut down or to let go the thinking brain, so the rest of the brain is not interfered in neural activity. It is always able to find an answer. We are now tapping into the unlimited power of the mind. Many people have been talking about it, but we have found the key. We have found the key. And that's kind of nice, but for those people who are suffering from depression, psychosis, bipolar, schizophrenia, etc., we found the key how to re-regulate the brain. For those it is important, and for those I want this to be out. And coronavirus, we can regulate it. Coronavirus only causes stress, cell biological stress, through inflammation. And we have shown inflammation to go down. And we have shown that the brain, your will, the power of your own mind, is able to influence deeply into your physical being. It's amazing. I mean, cold, everybody knows cold, isn't it? Just by the power of your thought to make cold on the skin, not making the skin temperature going down. That is by the mind over the body. Psychology over physiology. Mind over matter. It's there. Coronavirus, down. We up. That's the way.
Thanks a lot for sharing this, Wim. I think people need to hear that, because that's exactly, I think, what you stand for, is you give people the belief that they can actually do it. That's, I think, the biggest power that you have with people.
No longer abstract. Your belief is neurology, is neural activity. Don't believe those guys on the television who only want to make lots of money out of the coronavirus, and it's all connected with the pharmaceuticals, with the industry, with the information, with the universities. If you see doctors nowadays in the university, they are not learning about healing, they learn about medicines.
Yeah.
They're drug dealers. We have made drug dealers out of our intellect, our doctors. And that is like degrading the intellect of our beautiful minds. And I say we have to become into healing again and find new natural ways. And we, with our power of our mind, are so much more capable of than what is being said. Now, they only create fear and dependency. That's what they do. And they love it. They love it because it makes a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's their toys.
We need to get that message out for sure. Yeah. No, thanks a lot. This is fantastic. Actually, Wim, aside from the coronavirus, there was one more subject that a lot of people asked about. I think you recently recorded something on the topic, the relationship between the cold and Tantra. or sexuality.
Oh, lots.
And I think you called it something like the royal discipline of combining the two. And there were a couple of questions, if you could elaborate on that. What has...
It's logical. If your hormonal activity blooms again, like it bloomed in the beginning of your relationship, in the beginning of your relationship, you had no control. The hormones were there, boom, oh, and it's beautiful. You are in love. And what I say about that is, do not fall in love. Rise in love. Rise in love. Learn. That's Tantra. Tantra is the repetition of life. That's literally what is Tantra in Sanskrit. And it's to rise in there. That your spirit becomes better and more, and that you love your woman, and not only sexually, in all the levels. Because you see her, you look at her eyes, you look at the way she moves, and everything, you are in love. And in love with life, you learn through people. And that once you love a person, then you love the child, then you love the nature, you love it all. Then that is the real Tantra. There's the Maha Tantra. But first, let's go back to Tantra. People are very misunderstood about how that all works on the hormonal level and with the chakras and all. And I tell you now that if you go in and do this method, then you get a hold of the hormonal system, the endocrine system. And you are able to always bring up the hormones, which makes you go in an altered state, altered, heightened awareness, and then you love your pet. Oh, she's so beautiful, because you are more up. It's more. It's vibrating. Besides of that, they saw in the genome expressions, in the DNA, they saw the genome for standing for virility. It really spikes. It goes up. So Viagra, goodbye. There's no need for Viagra whatsoever. This is all based because the genome goes lower and there is no virility anymore. People don't feel virile.
You mean it goes up with cold exposure?
Yes, yep. Absolutely. So you become very horny. Like horny, that means you become, and that's good. That's good for intimacy. You love your woman. You feel your body, you feel your woman. That's the way. And it goes back into the DNA. It's all logical. Besides of that, if you do the breathing after you have sex, and you do the breathing again, like 10 minutes, you like to go again. Yeah, because you balance out the hormones again. And then the ejaculation and your vascular system, it's all there again. Boom. Beautiful.
What do you think, by the way, because you're also, you have so much experience with the Buddhist way of holding back an ejaculation? Is that...
any semen virile incoitus, I know about this. That you can do that. But you can also just go. It's nice. Just don't forget one thing ever. Always love your partner. If you love your partner, then everything is all right. Then diggy duty is all right. If you just love your partner in any way, then it will always work. It's Tantra. Tantra is spirituality, and spirituality you have all day long. I say they have been comparing people doing mindfulness for 4 hours a day for years. The breathing exercises, they go into deeper tissue of the brain than people who exercise 4 hours a day for years. That means you go into those areas of the emotion, but also of the reproduction, of and all of that withholding, you very fast get into that power where you love it all. That is Tantra. That is withholding, have longer sex. I got sex all day long.
So would you recommend doing the breathing before the first time you have sex in a day?
Yeah, but if you do it before, it's great. But in between, so after having sex, you do it again, breathing again, you like to go again. You're fully back. It's amazing. Yeah, try it out, guys.
We should really try that out. By the way, Wim, I have a question in that you just reminded me of that with the cold. Someone asked me, what is your relationship to warmth or to heat?
To warmth.
Because
I love it. I love heat. I run also a marathon in the desert without thinking, and that is being done. So I love heat, but once after I did the marathon in the cold, half a year later I was in the desert, and I did it also, and I maintained core body temperature. That means I had control, learned over the core body temperature, in this case, the cold. In the cold, I learned it. And then I was able to do the same in the heat. So you learn to control through the hypothalamus thermoregulator in the brain. You learn to have a core body temperature control in the cold, but that also then works in the heat. So I love the heat. I think the heat is great. I don't like warm showers. I like hot showers. And I like my woman to be hot too.
By the way, Wim, you seem like someone...
Everybody.
You seem like someone, though, who's not afraid of anything. And that's sort of my next question. Is there something that you're actually afraid of?
No. Fear, you have to see fear. I'm not going to go when there is an abyss, a falling down somewhere. I'm not, then fear comes in. I always listen to fear, and then I go back. I take control. I become more alert. Fear is a messenger, but the messenger should not take over. So as a messenger, fear is great, but he's a messenger. He is not me. So I learn of the fear. It's always there to give me the right information that danger is going to happen this way or that way. And then I say, thank you, fear. Thank you, messenger. Now I don't need you anymore. I will take charge. But in most of in a lot of people, they have a low condition in their bodies. And that low condition results into fear, because then there is also the messenger. And the messenger says you have to expose yourself more because you are not the best of yourself. That's what fear does. So we are learned in society For example, like with the coronavirus, they make us fearful. They make us dependent on them. They don't make us the best of ourselves. Go into breathing, go into the cold shower, make you boost your immune system naturally. They don't say that. They say, we cannot do anything. That's what they say. That's the mindset they give us. And then we are, because of wearing clothes all the time, we have a weak immune system, which is not acting directly to the intruder. So we have a low condition, and that low condition, there the messenger is constantly present. It's fear. It says you are in a low condition, and the way the industry and the governments are manipulating us, they say you cannot do anything. You have to go to the doctor. You have to go for the injection. You have to go for pills. You have to go and stay inside and all those things. That is a fear that is constant. But let me just get back to the complex, understanding of what is fear. Fear should not be in us, because we have a perfect mind, body, entity that is able to face without fear anything until it comes, until danger comes. When danger comes, then we are able to heighten our awareness, to become better, deeper breathing, and we get a hold of our adrenal axis, and we become double as strong. And then the fear has done its work, and we are there until the danger goes away. That is the way fear works. But the way that we are learned to have fear in this society is based on our lower condition, our comfort zone behavior. We are not the best of ourselves. And that's why we live in fear.
I recently heard the difference. I'm not sure what it is in Dutch. In German, it's Angst und Furcht. And in English, it's fear and anxiety. And anxiety is actually not real. It's something that you're afraid of, but it's not real. But actual fear is a tiger standing in front of you and wanting to eat you. And yes. I think a lot of people are anxious. They have anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. So if people do the method, they lose their anxiety because they reconnect the mind with the body the way nature meant it to be. And then the anxiety as a product of fear is no longer needed because your body knows how to deal with whatever is coming. And when some real danger is there, then the fear, it's not the fear, it's the messenger saying there is danger. You got to be attentive and aware. Then you are able to become double as strong because you are becoming, you activate the adrenal axis we talked about before. You know, the hypothalamus, pituitary gland, adrenal glands, they go to work. And this is what the breathing does. The breathing does make us not breathe long time. And then the adrenal axis is activated. And then you get a reset of the body. And that reset of the body, there the immune system works a lot better. The hormonal system works a lot better. The vascular system, all the systems work a lot better. The way nature meant it to be. And in that body, we do not need fear because it's there, it's present.
By the way, Wim, because you just mentioned the breathing again, and there was a question, and I don't know that story. I know a lot of stories from you, but I don't know the story how you, like, when was the point when you discovered that the breathing worked? Like way back in the day.
Yes, going into the cold water makes you learn to breathe deep. It's logical. When you go into the cold water, it's like emotion. When you see something big time, something very impressive, what do? Oh, yeah, or you forgot something. Oh, yeah, oh, I forgot something. Yeah, you know, when the emotion is there, and that is what that is what cold does. It brings you into deeper breathing. I became alert of that, and I did at a certain moment, I was doing deep breathing while being into the water. And that made me able, after 25 deep breaths, to take one full inhale and to go for minutes, like 5 to 7 minutes, under the water, under the ice, and not feeling anything. I mean, being so much control and very relaxed. And that I then separated of the cold water. And that I took home. I did it at home, the same breathing. And then I saw all the chakras. I saw everything, the whole thing. And anything I could not find through the books, now I saw it directly. Boom. And very simple. Because all these books make it so difficult, so complicated, so abstract. And that's why I say, freeze, breathe, motherfucker. You know, get it out of your system, out of your thoughts. Just do it. Get into the depth of yourself, because you are born to be in connection with your depth. And that the way we are schooled and everything, the whole society, with all the diseases, dependency, industries, it does not need to be. Coronavirus, we can control. If we only get back in the way nature meant it to be. That it is. It is very simple. So those breathing exercises coming from the cold, then separating, seeing all the chakras, all the lights, all the bells, all the samadhis, anything, all the Tantra, the whole shit kebab. I saw it all, and I can get it every time I want. I am in control.
Would it actually make sense when you take a cold shower to do the breathing while taking the shower?
Yes, if you do deep breathing while you take the shower, then your body is able to adapt a lot faster.
Okay.
Because biochemistry is jeopardized when you go into the cold. Then it is stress, and stress on the body changes the biochemistry. Now, if you keep on breathing deep, you have a maintaining of the biochemistry. And in that way, the body is able to do anything. It is able to cast away the stress of the cold. You have a much better control. You sense it. You are in control. Yes. Deep breathing while going into the cold shower. And then until you feel you're completely in control.
Wim, at this point, I still have a couple of fun questions for you. Are you ready?
Good. Ready. Always ready.
Well, one thing I really appreciate about you is you're such a grounded human being with so much humility. And I know that ever since we've met, you've came across so many like celebrities and people. And actually in Poland, you were with people. And I wanted to know from you, now that you reach millions of people, how does that make you feel?
Nice. Okay, great. But I'm a man on a mission. I want to change the world. I'm humble, and I love little things. I love my garden, my dog, my child, and my family, and I love you. I love all the people who love me. Of course, it's a love relationship, and it's great. I love life, of course, but I'm determined to change the world. So I use everybody, all the celebrities, etc. I use them all to bring out the mission that we all are able to become happy, strong, and healthy. And if the Hollywood, they are going to make a Hollywood film about me now. You know that?
That's
time,
new. Yeah. Crazy. I didn't know that.
Research. Yes, they came here and they really want to make a Hollywood feature film about me, about my life, and etc. And I say, that's great, because I use it as a window to show that a simple guy is able to cause all this, because he believes that we are all should be happy, strong, and healthy, and that it is scientifically endorsed. And this needs to get out. It's not about me anymore. It's about the whole world. That's what it is. So I don't care who I meet. I'm always myself.
That seems.
They are simple.
But has your life changed in any way? Is it more difficult to get around? Are you recognized more?
Oh yeah, I'm being recognized wherever I go in any city of the world. I got enough selfies to make.
I can imagine. Yeah. Okay, next question. Wim, who do you turn to for inspiration? Like, what is a person that you get inspired by?
That is the inspiration comes of my little child. No, I got a 2-year-old.
Eden,
now.
Yeah, I babysitted him in Munich when you were speaking, actually.
Yes, and my wife, my woman, my partner, whatever she wants me to call her, I think she's beautiful. And she gives me all the inspiration. My dog gives me the inspiration. You give me the inspiration right now. That's why I'm talking like this. I feel it. This is great work. So doing great work is very inspirational. It's the future. The future is for the new human. The new human is a human that is in love with nature, who has uninhibited flow in the mind and body, and does and changes the world. It brings positive, lovable energy to the world. There is my inspiration. Every day I am working on changing the world, wherein man and nature are working together in harmony, like a love relationship.
Fantastic. Wim, is there actually anybody that you would like to switch shoes with for one day, past or present?
Oh, I have to look for that. No, it's okay. I'm okay. I think I had so many phases in my life, so many lives already. I switch shoes all the time.
Or anybody from, let's say, history that you would like to have met? Could have been thousands of years ago or hundreds.
I think I met them already. I met Jesus.
Wow.
I met Buddha. I met them all. In your mind, it does not know time. Our concept of time does not exist past the time-space consciousness. It is there. It's in our genes. We can bring it up as long as we go deeply in ourselves. And with that, I tell you, at the end of this month, we get new information of a study we did in San Francisco, top research on the DNA. And I'm into showing that we are capable to get much deeper into the DNA through the method. We are able to get into the ancestral, genetical, encrypted codes of the DNA. You see what I mean? All our ancestors are present in our DNA. But we did not know how to get in there. And now I'm showing how to get in there through research. So that is the next. And there we are able to get into that part of the DNA. And in that way, I'm able to go way back. Like thousands of years back. And how was it in the time of Jesus and all that? They are still present here. And we are able to get them in our consciousness. But that's another chapter. First, let me get the results of the top research in 1 month. And next time we talk about the ancestors, about time-space barrier and how to transcend. Because now it is not just yogic science about reincarnation. We are all the incarnations up to the present. We got that in our DNA. It's only logic. But how to get in, I will show.
Do you have what is your earliest memory of this life right now?
Of this life, it could be when I was 3 years old. Very heightened awareness. I remember a garage going very deeply down, and I was just standing there. And at that moment, I was just witnessing standing there. And why did that happen? I didn't know. I was just very conscious at that moment, looking, just being. And that, of course, is related to my genetical past. It does not matter, but it was then really there. And a couple of these moments, they come involuntarily. They come involuntarily. Now, for those people who have had very bad experiences, they are able to go back into that experience because it's all in our DNA, encrypted. So we are able now to get into the DNA and de-traumatize, to look at the situation again, to see the faces who were there, impressions of what you were experiencing. And then you can look at the accident or the traumatic experience and without being affected. That is the way to deal with the DNA and to de-traumatize, to make solutions which could happen at that moment, but now we can. And I'm into that. I'm into making a trauma release something physical, something you can detect in your DNA, and how to get into the DNA and to make the traumatic experience being released. So in control of that, what closes up genome expressions is getting into the genetics, getting into the ancestors, but also into traumas. And we are able to, from all natural. And I'm into showing this. This is a more new, a complicated matter made very simple. And it's coming.
Wim, is there anything that you have changed your perspective on in the last 6 months? Anything you've learned that you didn't believe before?
No, I'm always in this unbridled determination to change the world. So there has changed. A lot has changed, but not my conviction. My conviction is already 40 years the same. And now I'm getting through the walls. I'm changing fundamentally science, and I just keep on going.
mention again the event where everybody can go on April 12th in Berlin.
To come to Berlin, come with all your questions. Come with your questions. We will have questions and answers. I tell you, I'm into the science. I'm into that what makes people able to quit thinking and go into solutions. And I use the cold, I use the breath, but I also use the consciousness. And the consciousness is neurology, it's physical. Like I've been able to make cold water on the skin temperature not going down, that is mind over matter. Do you want to learn that? Come to Berlin. Then I will take away your blockages, your inhibitions, your confusion, and create clarity. And then you are able to make use of your mind and your body a whole lot better. There's a free app on our website. They can go into that. And just do it because it works. But those are only the foundations. The breathing and the cold, they train the immune system and the vascular system, which is everywhere in our body and brain. And then the journey, the adventure of the consciousness starts. And that is an amazing new journey, an amazing new eye-opener for you. And you can gain a lot of benefits if you just make the switch. And that switch will come in Berlin. City of consciousness. City
Fantastic.
of new consciousness, Berlin. The old East and the West coming together, you know, after the wall and all.
Mm-hmm.
It is still, the consciousness is not so rigid over there. It's still open.
That's true.
It's like a little bit, it's still open.
That's it. And
Berlin,
by the way,
Berlin is a great place for a great...
And by the way, your daughter Laura told us that for all the listeners who are still listening right now, we are raffling off 5 tickets for Berlin. And so all you have to do is take a screenshot of like this podcast, post it online with @Iceman Wim Hof and @Flowgrade, and then you have the chance of winning a ticket for Berlin. So if you want to witness this man live, then you're in for a treat. Please share this and share the message because everybody needs to hear it.
Yes, exactly. That's why I do not think this, I feel this. There is so much to gain for everybody through self-awareness, and we know now how to open it up. It's great.
Wim, it's so fun to talk to you, and I really hope to see you very soon again. At this point, thank you very much for your time. I know you have a kid to attend to and guests and people, so I don't want to steal more of your time. But at this point, again, thank you for your inspiration, for your power. I value and appreciate you very much.
Good. Yeah, Max, flow great. Keep on going because you go great. Flow great.
Thank you, sir. I love you.
Right up. Okay. Ciao.
So, das war's mit Wim Hof. Vielen Dank fürs Zuhören. Und wenn dir die Episode gefallen hat, dann teile sie gerne mit deinen Freunden auf Instagram oder Facebook mit @Flowgrade und @Iceman Hof. Und ich freue mich natürlich, wenn du diesen Kanal oder diesen Podcast abonnierst und auch in Zukunft dabei bleibst, denn wir haben noch vieles Cooles auf Lager für dich. Also, bis zum nächsten Mal. Ich bin Max Gotzler. Go for Flow.